Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Here we are, Saturday night special number 100. About 2 years ago, I came out here because there's just some little things that I wanted to talk about regarding, rock hounding and minerals and the stuff, the hobby that we participate in. And I had no idea if people would even like this. Here we are, 2 years later. I missed 2 weeks producing episodes, but alas, here we are, number 100. So, typically the way I, make these Saturday night specials is I jot down my thoughts throughout the week, and we come out here and we head over to the bench and we talk about stuff. I think this week I want to do it a little different, kind of back the way it was back in episode number 1, where I was winging it. So we're winging number 100. This has really been kind of it's been an eye-opening experience coming out here and chatting for 100 weeks with y'all. Learned so much from the comments down below. I like to think of the Saturday night special. It's kind of a mini podcast, and there's a lot of little hidden gems of knowledge in there, both things that I'm passing along, things that I learned myself, and down there in the comments, So thank y'all so much. It's very much so appreciated. Let's head over to the bench. Let's kick off episode 100. It's that time again. It's time for another Saturday night special where we talk about everything rock hounding related. Well, let's start this off by looking at the very first rock we ever looked at here on the Saturday night special. This guy right here. I had a video up a little over 2 years ago collecting this piece of Rhyolite, and got quite the pushback from people being like, oh, what do you want with that? It's that kind of cruddy, igneous rock, ignorant comments. Now, I think this is quite lovely. This was actually polished up on my drill press, of all things. The little sticky diamond pads, and I was happy to share it. Stood out here, naked hands, empty shelf, and chatted about this. I'm quite the fan of Rhyolite, Wonderstone. It's it can be very, very pretty, very beautiful material. Can take a great polish, and in many ways, it does mimic certain picture jaspers, which is kind of cool. Like, it's kind of our own little thing out here that you can find. This past week, underground rock hounding. Okay, so going into mines is kind of awesome. I enjoy it, Sarah enjoys it a little less, and I fully understand. But it's very cool to be able to meet somebody like Ian and his buddy Doug that want to go out to mines and are also very, very knowledgeable on the mines that they visit. I think some of this type of stuff, like the galena, that I need to go glove free here to pick up these little guys. Like that galena, which looks amazing under the microscope, it's very cool. Now, there's the whole thing with the mystery crystal, the little tiny fan of crystal that I found in there. Now, my microscope, well, I should rather say my camera on my microscope, I don't have the resolution to get beautiful, ultra clear photos. I think it's important to not leave things, how to say this? It's important to not misidentify stuff, and I'm better off. I believe you're better off having unknowns, okay? The crystals that I found in those does not match any exact known species. It just doesn't. Not that I'm able to find, maybe somebody else, but I don't think that photo provides enough information to make a definitive identification, you know. Also, I would add that things get very complex when they get very, very little, you know. You can basically take a lot of what you currently know as far as like big things, big rocks, big minerals, and kick it, you throw it out the window, right? Things get kind of wacky when they get really, really tiny, like 0.1 millimeter, 0.2 millimeter and smaller. All kinds of interesting things can start to happen that do not scale up. So let me put it like this, okay? Let me put it like this, and we'll talk about that. A certain number of you out here have definitely been rock hounding for 4 years now. You're going on your 4th year. So how many new minerals has there been in the past 4 years? Try 656 officially recognized new minerals, which brings us up to 5,739 minerals recognized by the IMA. There's, of course, almost all of those are like very, very tiny things, you know. Here in Washington, there's a location which has 50 unidentified observed minerals. About 50. How crazy is that? Okay. They have been described, they've been looked at by some of the best and brightest people in the world of mineralogy. And analysis has not necessarily been done on them to fully determine what exactly they are. This will actually probably be a future video. We're going to go out to this location. It's going to be rad. But there's a lot of interesting things. You know, there's a lot of rocks and minerals, and don't jump to the conclusions. You know, just because whatever, don't. The little crystals that I found are in a radial fan pattern. They are very flat, they're entirely clear, and they are very hard to photograph. Very hard to photograph. Little tiny clear things, I don't know, not my, not something I'm very capable of filming. This thing, however, very capable of filming this. It is sharp as it can be, okay? That right there, that is, that'll poke you in the hand, that's for sure. Let's see, let's go like this. How about that? That'll poke you in the hand. Whew. So, this is a big old chunky piece of calcite from my buddy Curtis. Some of you know Curtis. Curtis is a member here on the channel. Thank you so much for your patronage, buddy. We've gone rock hunting. He went out to the China Hollow mines with us and stuff. Well, as some of you know, I acquired a 10-inch Covington trim saw that was horrifically neglected, and I had all the good intentions of adding that project to my list and doing a full restoration on the 10-inch Covington. It definitely didn't happen. And now it's in Curtis's good hands, and he can do some restoration on it and get that thing up and running. And part of our little deal we struck is he hooked it up. He hooked me up with this. Now this is very cool stuff, this calcite, right here from Washington. Look at that. This is what that would look like possibly if we cut it. We got some dogtooth calcite down here at the bottom. I mean, it's very pretty stuff. Now, one of the nice things about this calcite is its reaction under the UV light. So let's turn these guys off here. Leave the window open, I think. Look at that. Boom. So, could just do this all day. The other piece. What you're seeing there is phosphorescence. The UV light is exciting an electron, and as that electron drops back down to space side or down to orbit, well, it has that retention. Boom. Very cool. I mean, I don't know. Does this ever get old? Does anybody? Does it ever get old? Seeing that, hold that glow. Very cool. Very, very cool. Very happy to have this piece. I think I might cut this, or at least make it a stand-up. Yeah, so stand-ups. That's my preference. I like to pick a side on something that is just going to be, as you know, a specimen to be enjoyed. You know, I think there's a lot of different ways that you can enjoy rocks and minerals. You can get really big stuff and cut it and polish it and do all the lapidary things. You can make cabochons. You can just have rocks and enjoy rocks for the aesthetic of having them naturally. There's a lot that you can do. There's no right or wrong way. You can collect tiny, tiny things, really big things, medium things. Doesn't matter. To each their own. I do think it's a mistake to, you know, cast stones at people for what they enjoy. But that's my take on it. But a stand-up, right? So I might do something like nip the end so that it can stand up on its own weight there. You know, it saves shelf space, and I think it kind of looks good, right? I think I like a good stand-up. I guess this isn't much of a sneak peek, per se, but one thing that is on my to-do list, my bucket list, is I really want to make a very specific video about serpentine subgroup of minerals. And I thought I'd share with you some of the serpentine that, well, is around here. So, serpentine can come in so many different colors and variations, flavors, if you will. That right there is from the road cut outside of OMAC, which is very cool, very good road cut. And that stuff here, I got a piece here. Let's actually look at that wet. Sorry, I have no water bottle, so we're gonna spill one out for the homies here. Very beautiful, beautiful material. Little bits of mica in there. I have not seen a whole lot of other serpentine that looks just like that. That came from there. A lot of it, you know, a lot of the serpentine kind of often it looks like this. It's not it's not great, right? It's not great stuff. This is some serpentine, here's a decent colored piece here. Here's some serpentine that comes from a road cut outside of Republic, Washington. And you know, it's got that like very greasy, waxy luster to it. And you know, it's just kind of not something people think about. So I get that people maybe aren't super into the serpentine, but just wait, okay? Out here in the magnesite belt, we have some awesome serpentine. Some very blue, very kind of blue-green serpentine from the Wild Turkey. The Wild Turkey mine is in Valley, Washington, just north of Spokane. It is a fee dig, and they're actually open this Saturday and this coming Sunday, so you can go check them out. That's not the primary kind of color that you get from up there. Generally, you're getting this kind of more neon yellow, and it takes a polish, like it's pretty. I mean, I don't know if a lot of this will tumble up well. I've seen some really good tumbled up pieces. It is soft material, but you know what I like from up there, though, you can get this stuff with these speckles in it. I'm not actually sure what the colored mineral is, but this is probably some of the nicer serpentine up there that I've collected. And I haven't done it just yet, but I do want to make some cabs out of this. That stuff is definitely solid enough. One more piece of serpentine. One more. All right. So there's a location we've been to. And you can get serpentine that is very solid, very deep forest green. You can make a nice cabochon out of it. This is actually, I think, one of my first cabs, and that's why it doesn't look great. I'm not saying that my current ones look great, but they've improved. So, but yeah, the serpentine, man, it's a fun and colorful group to be able to go collect and explore. It's one of those things that I think a lot of people really struggle with as far as identifying, and you can kind of see here why. I mean, it's certainly possible to mistake some of the serpentine for nephrite jade, and you know, I would say I see a decent amount of that on Facebook and places like that. This coming week, I'm going to be playing with some thunder eggs. Obviously, those aren't the same two halves. I'm going to be playing with some thunder eggs, and well, maybe we'll be picking up something quite fun as well. Look at that. Very pretty stuff. Very, very pretty. Well, hey everybody. 100 episodes kind of means a lot to me. I appreciate it, you know, because of the Saturday night special. I've definitely made some very good and real friends. So I will continue to do this for at least another 100 episodes, and then maybe I'll take a break. I'll take a month off for my gift to myself come 200. All right, everyone. Y'all take care, and I will catch you in the next video.